Alrighty then. So today I thought I would, I suppose, record some Paragon gameplay from a match I played last night, and talk a little bit about the game and what I think of it so far. And I suppose maybe mention a couple of things that I think new players might be missing or struggling with. I don't know, to make it a bit educational, but I'm myself very, very new to this. But not as new as whoever was playing the Fae for them this game. It was, I feel sorry for him slash her, but hopefully some things will be covered. So for those of you that don't know, Paragon is a third-person MOBA, so similar to Dota 2 or League of Legends, but third-person, so I suppose more similar to Smite, for example. And basically, it's fundamentally the same. There's lanes, there's minions, there's a jungle, and you basically play as a hero or champion or whatever you want to call it. In the gameplay you're watching at the moment, I'm playing Richter, who's probably my favourite at this stage. I play him as sort of a support tank, or I suppose that's probably the best way to put it, support tank or support like DPS, I don't know. Basically I just like playing him as a very highly mobile ganker, I don't know. Anyway, back to the point. Basically there's a few unique things about Paragon. For me personally, the unique thing is that it's third person. I've never really been into third person MOBAs before, but so far I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's a really attractive game. I think the developer's done a really good job making it look appealing and feel really nice and smooth to play. But one other unique thing is these things called harvesters, which is what I'm setting on right now. So basically you can have an item called a harvester key, or a key of sorts, and they basically help you build harvesters quickly. I believe there's 7 on the map, and something in this game that my team didn't do was basically build any harvesters at all for the entire game. I basically had to do all of that, which is fine, but I also had to do most of the harvesting, which is what I'm about to do here. So you stand on the pad once it's built, and a bunch of experience points, or amber as it's called, come rushing out to you, and every single person on your team gets that amber, so it's basically like a global experience boost. So if you can control more than half of the harvesters, you can in many ways control the game. So they're very, very important. And I will also say, being very new to this, I'm only level 8, I will say that if anyone out there knows more than me and I'm saying the wrong thing, please let me know below in the comments, and I will correct myself. But yeah, so basically you have Amber, which is like your card XP, and then you have your normal experience points as well. And the game, rather than having like a shop where you buy items, you basically have a deck of cards that you buy cards from with your card XP, which is the Amber, as aforementioned. Now, I think that one thing a lot of players struggle with is sort of awareness. It's something I struggle a lot with in games like Dota, but Paragon I think feels a bit smoother, I suppose a bit more natural to me as far as being aware of what's going on around me. Ganking can be really, really easy if the player's unaware. This Fae, for example, spent a huge amount of the game pushing our lane quite hard, and then getting punished for it because I could get behind her in the jungle. And here I am building another harvester, well, trying to build another harvester, and then I'm letting it build and going back to lane and trying to roam a bit more. This Fae kept on putting down wards, which is what I'm hitting here, in weird places, but wards are also quite important because they do give you that vision of when people are rotating to kill you, potentially. I personally am not good enough at the game yet to really understand where is ideal to place wards, but I suppose based by my logic, people will run through sort of the main channels, and if they're warded, that's good. But yeah, basically, going back to the point, is being aware of what's going on. So for example, I know that this Fae, her health is the top bar, and she's very, very squishy anyway. And that was a horrible ulti on my behalf. But she's very, very squishy. But she also spent most of the game or out of mana, which made things really easy for me, because it meant that when I went on her, for lack of a better term, she almost never could use any of her abilities to escape or to contest me in any way. Whereas I kind of build a lot of mana items when I play Richter. I don't really know what I kind of try and build into as a goal. I was trying to build a little bit of tank this game because my team was really, really struggling, and we do end up losing very badly. But basically they could out DPS us, and our 2 DPS heroes were the lowest leveled in our team, so we had a lot of trouble. But again, there you could see that Fae just wasn't aware of her surroundings and where she was in relation to the tower, because in this tower's hit very, very hard. So again there, I was trying to be aware. This bloke tried to come up behind me, and then I kind of realised that now he was a bit out of position and decided to go for the cheeky frag. But I think so much of this game as well is about team play, which is something that at this level, I think there's a lot of new players, and people really struggle with their rotations and trying to help win fights. So this, is it Kalari? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name. She was absolutely snowballing by this stage, and I was just trying as hard as I could to keep up, but I just couldn't manage it towards the end of the game. She just got way too big and out of control, and killed so many of our heroes that were pushing lanes too hard, which is something that I think a lot of people newer to MOBAs don't quite understand, is that when you're fighting minions, you want to ideally just be getting the last hits, not just nuking the wave as it's called, because if you get the last hit in Paragon, for example, you get 5 times the experience of if you don't get the last hit. So if you're pushing a wave under their tower, it gives them a safe place to fight, and if you're just beating down the creeps, you're not getting that bonus damage, that bonus experience. So what you want to be trying to do is only last hit when it's the right time to basically time it so that you get that 5 times experience. Here I possibly got a little bit too eager, but by now most of their heroes were a little bit behind me, and I was kind of keen on new. I like to test what, I don't know, the heroes are capable of, and to try and, I suppose, challenge myself. This is my 3rd game on Richter, I think, and I am really enjoying him. Yeah, another thing for new players is pressing B will teleport you back to spawn. You don't have to have a teleport item or anything like that. Something also worth mentioning is how important movement is in this game. I think that in many ways your positioning, see for example here, I pulled the Fae into the tower radius and then body blocked her so that she couldn't get out. I mean, she didn't necessarily want to get out because I think she's quite new, no offense to her, but you can use your body to basically control the movement of other players quite easily, and especially if you can get someone under tower in this, you've basically won the fight, because early in mid game I've found that towers hit incredibly hard, especially against the weaker support items, support heroes, but I suppose this was so frustrating. Maybe it wasn't here. There was a couple of fights that I took that I probably shouldn't have, and it didn't end well. But I almost killed. I think this is it here. Yeah, she gets out on like 20 health, and I was a little bit soul destroyed because I was trying to keep us in the game, but couldn't quite manage it. I suppose I can my initial thoughts on the game are actually that I really enjoy it. I think there's a few things that are an issue, and the Paragon development team have talked about that over at Epic Games. One of the big ones is match length. I'm yet to have a game really go below 45-50 minutes, which is a long time to have to commit to each and every game, especially if you lose. I think it's a bit disheartening by that stage, which is kind of where I was at now. A lot of our team was just giving up, but I was try-harding to try and keep us in it. And we did manage in a little bit, I think, to get the Orb Prime, which is like the equivalent of Rosh, or Roshan in Dota. You take that to a certain point on the map, you can rebuild your inhibitors or barracks, I suppose. But we didn't manage that. And this is an example of how hard the towers hit, even at the 50-minute mark. But why that Gideon was over there, I don't know. I think that comes down to what I talked about before, with having a bit of awareness of where you are on the map and what's going on. But no, so I really enjoy it. I think the super minions are too strong at this stage. They take so long to clear the waves. But other than that, in the game length, I'm really enjoying it. I like the harvesters. I like the jungle mechanics, how there's different camps that give you different buffs. I like that there's the Orb Prime. You have to take the orb to certain places on the map to get bonuses. And I like the general feel and flow of the play, and the fights and the heroes and the abilities. I think there's some really unique mechanics that play together quite well, but I feel like at this stage it still needs a little bit of work, but it is very new. In open beta, in fact, so go and give it a go. I'd love to see a big community develop here, and hopefully lots of people get into it. But that's pretty much the end of this video. Sorry that I blabbed a bit. It's kind of gone a bit longer than I planned, but thanks for watching. Go check out Paragon, and hopefully I'll come across you in the game.